Hello there, everyone. TheAndrata here, and welcome back to episode 7 of our All the Mods 9 to the Sky Let's Play series. Well, today, you can kind of sort of tell, but TheAndrata did a little bit of work in between episodes, and we got a base redesign going on here, and we start working on getting into Powah. So let's get started. Welcome back, my friends, to another wonderful day here in the world of TheAndrata. I did a little bit of work in between episodes, okay? And once you see it, you're going to be like, TheAndrata, a little bit of work, a little bit. But hey, I got bored. I had some time off. It's summer break. I decided I'm going to remodel the base and change up our base design and make it look nicer. Not 100% set on how things look, but yeah, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get it going. So in all of its glory, we have our new base design. Yeah, let's go explore. So as we had before, you know, we had just the house and the grass and everything. Spent a couple hours, and probably more than a couple hours, redesigning our base and everything. Around our border, we had that calcite bricks that was built in with our island. And I'm like, you know what? I like those. Let's go ahead and utilize those. So I set up some farms over there, and we'll talk about that with our calcite. But I kind of went with this calcite theme with some stone. Oh, I should put some stairs there in the corner. I missed a stair. Let me see. I should have some calcite stairs available. Yeah, anyway. White theme with the stripped dark oak just here and everything, and then the stones and yada yada yada. Okay, I think I like it overall. I think it's a pretty good theme. Moved our storage dimensional storage actuator over here in the middle. Do want to point out that I did add on an additional storage stabilizer. I went ahead and made 2 more. You cannot get another one in there because it has to have direct line of sight to this central spinny winny block. So if you place one on the bottom, the dimensional storage actuator itself actually blocks the access. So 5 is the max, but with 5 that gets us 2,688 slots at the tier 2, which is absolutely fantastic. And once we get to tier 3 and 4, we're gonna have buku amounts of storage. I mean, like, it's gonna be absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, I set this up. I went ahead and sieved up some stuff. If you take a look now, remember how we had such a major issue with dirt? Not anymore. Balloon on a stick is absolutely fantastic. It made this entire build possible. But anyway, I went ahead and leveled our base. The defaults with that cozy cottage had 3 layers of dirt. So I literally took all 3 layers of dirt essentially and destroyed them. And being able to repair our Paxel with just a couple diamonds is fantastic. But yeah, just vein mined this out and we ended up with 2,000 dirt from all of that, which is great. Balloon on a stick is fantastic. Plus the being able to, if I fall into the void, land, because it happened a lot, land back in our base is wonderful too. But yeah, balloon on a stick. Without that, I probably would not have gone as far as I did because it would have been an absolute pain to do all this without. So anyway, main structure, I left the main island the same exact size that it was with the cozy cottage. It kind of looks like we have more room here. But then I went ahead and built out an additional island, which I'm going to expand the others to. It just, I didn't feel like wasting all the time, or not wasting the time, but I had already spent enough time on this. So from here, I believe this is 7 blocks out, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 blocks wide for this technically because we have the borders. So it's leaning out to here, and it builds out into this structure, this platform here, that is an exterior of 29 by 29 and an interior of 27 by 27 because we have a border with the calcite bricks. So on the inside, it is 27 by 27 from side to side. Okay. So that's that. I went with that size for a specific reason. If we take a look at Ars Nouveau, and it's even in the quest book and everything. But there are these tablets that we are going to utilize later in the series to create different islands. For example, if you wanted to get like an ocean block where you need like a warm ocean so you can get coral and things like that, well, you can perform this ritual through Ars Nouveau to create a, you can actually change your biome. Currently, we're in the plains biome. It literally will change the biome over to a warm ocean biome, and it builds an island. And that island is a 27 by 27. Yes, I believe it's 13, center 13. Yeah, so 27, or I'm sorry, yeah. Yeah, 27 by 27. 13, middle, 13 is 27. So I built out 27 blocks on this so that whenever we get to that point, I will just be able to come over to, you know, whenever one of our islands, stick our Ars Nouveau thing. It'll build out to the same distance that we have here, and then I can bridge it, and bada bing, bada boom, we have nice islands that work swimmingly. Okay. Inside of this, I decided to create some little partitions, some little rooms to kind of sort of put all of our stuff in, I guess. I'm not entirely sure what the idea here is, but yeah, looks good. 11 by 11 is the exterior, and they are 9 by 9s on the interior. And then these little guys in the center here are 7 by 7s. So yeah, pretty simple. Like, it really wasn't terribly too complicated. Then I just went ahead and got some Ars trees because they grow nice and tall, planted those, and I think it looks great. Over here, I moved all of our extractors and everything and kind of redesigned the setups a little bit to kind of try and compact it as much as possible with what we have going on here. So we have our calcite, pretty simple, water, bone block makes calcite. We have kiwi, which is water, and you can waterlog these, which is great, utilizing some trapdoors, so you can waterlog the extractors, helps make it a little bit more compact. But kiwi is water, kiwi, lava, bam, did that already. Netherrack, andesite I just added, which the only difference between andesite is that it uses andesite instead of stone, and it uses lava instead of magma. And then over here is where we're going to have ice eventually being produced. We'll get a piece of blue ice and stick here. Over on this side, we have moss. Moss is what we utilize to get all of those saplings. So if you sieve up moss blocks, you will get saplings from it, which is how I got the Ars saplings. Pretty nice. And then there is a new sapling from Ars, the flashing archwood. Never utilized that before, but I'm going to assume that's like lightning, because this is vexing, blazing, and cascading, and then flourishing, so like lightning. But yeah, we got that going on. This over here is going to be for Blackstone. The only thing that we need to get for this is ice. There has to be some, I believe, packed ice for this one, and then regular ice for cobbled deep slate, both of which can be sieved up, which is why I decided I wanted to make those. And then over here, we just have a process going on for our soul sand, similar to what we had before with our filter set up to witch water, soul sand coming out over there. The only problem is I have to provide it with sand, but that's really not terribly too difficult. Oh, hello. What do you got for me? Nothing. Wither skeleton skulls. We'll take those. Do I have enough emeralds? I have enough. Give me what you got. Okay, cool. And then go ahead and be gone. I do have some wandering traders that we're going to talk about that I would like to trade with, because as I was building, they spawned in, of course. And yeah, they have some pretty good trades. So then I have our sieves over here, and we're going to work on setting up our auto sieves in that area when the time comes. Okay, cool. I do need to get more emeralds, though, because in my backpack, I have some wandering traders, and these wandering traders have some pretty dang awesome trades that I'd like to get eventually. So like this guy. 32 phantom membranes, 64 diamonds will get me the eternal vigilance, sharpness 10, life mending 5, looting 5, unbreaking 5, scavenger 5. Like that's a pretty dang good sword, so we're gonna keep him. Then we've got a guy with a chest plate. We got some boots, and then I think this one is yeah, these are some leggings. Not the greatest in the world, but better than nothing, right? Like, we'll take it. So we'll get some emeralds and trade with those guys at some point. But yeah, that's basically our base upgrade, base design. Just gives us some room to expand. I have not moved this yet because we're going to work on getting, we're going to change this up and get different power system going on and everything. So and that's what our goal today's episode is. So that's why I haven't moved that, but eventually it'll come on over here. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I think I like this new base design. I think it looks pretty nice. I like the white and the stone. Oh, by the way, I want to show you guys. I don't know if a lot of you guys know about this. And thanks to Chosen Architect, I learned how this works. But if you have a diamond wand or any sort of construction wand, you have a UI for this. Did you know that? There is a UI for the diamond wands or the construction wands. You hold Control, Shift, and right click, and you actually have options for placing blocks inside of this. I have never known this in all the years that I played mod in Minecraft, and since I've been recording and stuff, never knew you have a UI in here where you can restrict which side it's going to, which is the same you can do when you control scroll wheel. You can place targets within the same direction. So if you wanted to go to your player's direction, so for example, if I wanted to have it always face me, I can, or if I were to point to the top, you see how it's placing like sideways. You can change the direction. You can make it match only the matching blocks. So you can make it so that it doesn't, like you can kind of see here the wireframes. It is only matching the stone bricks, not the cracked stone bricks. You can make it similar, any. You can make it do random. So it's just like the, it's not the chisel. What is that mod from? I think it's Quark that allows it to randomize blocks placed. It's not a chisel. It's similar to the chisel. But anyway, you can make it randomized. So it'll randomize blocks that are in your hotbar. Just like it's fantastic. Also, if you put a block in your hotbar, or I'm sorry, in your offhand, it will always place that block instead of other blocks. There is also an undo feature inside of here too that you can utilize. I believe by doing Control Shift and then U, and you can get an undo, which I never knew either. So yeah, pretty dang nifty. I like it. I love it. And it just changed up how construction wands is going to work for me for ever in the future. Anyway, all that being said, there's our base update. I was going to say not terribly too much change, but there's a lot of change. I mean, it's absolutely completely different than what it was before, but it's not super duper crazy. Yeah, I think you like it. You love it. Leave a comment. Anyway, today's episode, let's get to work on. You can notice I have a lot of stuff in my to-do list that I'd like to do at some point. So let's get started on this. And our first major goal that I would like to get is upgrading our power generation. I want to get power gen going, utilizing the thermo generators from Powah. That way I can start working on getting this ice with the alchemistry, and then we can start auto sieving stuff. I need more power so I can start auto sieving and getting resources produced for me automatically. So that's my main goal in the next few episodes, is to get us to this point. That way we can get this stuff taken care of. So then we can just get auto resources. I don't have to worry about sieving for emeralds anymore. I can just have emeralds available to me. And we're going to utilize a drawer system. I know we have 2,688 stacks available here. We probably will. I don't know if we're going to end up utilizing all of that. So I'll probably set up a drawer system. That way we know that for sure we're never going to have any issues with our storage. Between occultism and a drawer system, we're going to be like chilling. We don't have to worry about ever getting disks in AE probably because everything will be utilized through storage buses and our external storage here. Okay. So what do we need to do? Well, we want to start working on getting through Powah. Okay. Powah is a mod, obviously, that utilizes power, or it generates power and is a power movement kind of thing. Mod that does a lot of things when it comes to Powah, hence the name Power. You have generators that you can get. You have power storage. You have wireless power transfer similar to flux networks. You have like reactors that you can build, solar panels, all kinds of different stuffs, different tiers that you can work with, which is where we're going. So the quest is a pretty good place to start, where you need to follow how to actually utilize this and everything. But yeah, that's where we're going. So our start is to start getting into these dielectric materials, which will allow us. Oh, I like that it's going to give me a quest or give me some rewards for this. But having all of this available to us is going to be nice, and it's going to make things a lot better for us ultimately with these thermo generators. So that's my main goal, is to get this thermo generator. I want to get us tiered up into Powah up to the blazing tier so I can make these blazing crystals, because from what I understand, these are absolutely ridiculous in getting power sped up, or getting these thermo generators sped up to a high tier. It multiplies the energy that's able to be generated by these by 280%. So from that 40, we would get to 80, 120, 160 RF or something like that just from the starter tier. And that's just the starter tier. As far as I understand, you can get up to like 40,000 RF per tick or something like that off of these just by utilizing the blazing crystals. So that's where we're going with this. So to get started with our thermo generator, we are going to need these different materials. Okay, couple of them. Now, the dielectric paste, this is going to be your main crafting material, and utilizing the fact that we have blaze powder available to us because we are able to sieve up netherrack makes this much easier. You have two different recipes where you have to have lava buckets in clay, or blaze powder in clay and coal. This is obviously a cheaper. I mean, you get less for it, but you don't have to worry about crafting with buckets, and crafting with buckets can be a pain. So we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a nice stack of this, and maybe, even 2 stacks, except I ran out of clay apparently. So not 2 stacks, just 1 stack. I can't break that down, but that's okay. Close enough to 2 stacks. Clay comes from where again? Can I sieve this? I need to get into mystical agriculture as well at some point. I can break that up. I have to put that in a barrel, don't I? How did we get clay? It's the clay blocks that we get. That's what I need to do. Yeah, it's a water, dust, and clay. Okay. And I'm not too concerned about it. We'll get into mystical agriculture very soon. Okay, so we got dielectric paste. Good. And then we're going to need to get ourselves some tiny capacitors, which are basic capacitors that are combined. In order to do this, we're going to need some redstone. We just need to get ourselves blocks of redstone. Don't need terribly too many. Let's get 4. And then we should be able to do this, because that's going to get me 4 of those. And we'll get 16. And then we'll convert some of those over, but not too many. Then we're going to need dielectric casings, which are going to require dielectric rods. Dielectric rods are going to require iron bars. And there are 2 different types. There is a vertical and a horizontal. The way to get you can swap between the 2 just by crafting it up. So let's get 16 of those and do it again. And then that way we can get some horizontals. Okay. Shove all this stuff into the system. And then we should be able to make a dielectric casing. And with that, that should complete that quest, which is going to give me some rewards. So we'll go ahead and collect that. Gets me some more paste. It actually gave me some more capacitors, so I'll take that. And then we have dielectric casing. Okay. We're also going to need some thermo plates. We're going to acquire 3 of these in order to make our thermo generator. So we'll go ahead and 1, 2, and 3. And let's see what the thermo generator is all about. Some more tiny capacitors, apparently. And then thermo generator. Bam. Okay, cool. Thermo generator acquired. Help us get some more power. Give me some rewards. I like rewards, so give them to me. Our next major step is going to be to get ourselves an energizing orb and the energizers, the energizing rods. So we're going to need to work on getting into that. But let's see what we got reward-wise. Some more dielectric casing and basic capacitors. I like that. It just makes it so that we have a little bit less that we have to worry about. Let's take a look at the thermo generator because, well, we need to start getting power into this and seeing exactly how this is going to work. So it looks like lava at our point is the best source of heat for our thermo generator. Now, to upgrade to the basic tier, we can actually go ahead and do that right away. So let's go ahead and get our thermo generator and upgrade that to the basic tier. We just need to make some more of those thermo plates. So 1 and 2. And then we can immediately upgrade that to the basic tier, which is going to double the amount of power that it's able to generate, right? Yeah. And then our next goal would be to get this up to the hardened tier. But in order to do that, we're going to need to energize steel and hardened capacitors. Okay, cool. So let's collect the reward for that, though, and see what we end up getting out of it. Some more tiny capacitors. Okay, so what we need for this is lava. So let's get ourselves a bucket of lava and figure out where do we want to put this. Oh, I accidentally pinned a quest, apparently. Unintended. Thank you. Get out of here. So for now, honestly, now this is 1 block deep, so we can't place this here. Where do we want power generation to be? I mean, we can go ahead and place this here for the time being, and then I can, we'll move it later, but for experimenting purposes, we're going to just place it here. Switch over to construction mode, please. Okay, so thermoelectric generator, lava, bam. Now we need to feed it with water, correct? One of the best options for passive power, the thermal generator will produce Fe when placed over a heat source and given a steady supply of water. There are currently 3 blocks which you can place this over. A magma block, which produces the lowest, a lava source block, which is a little better, or a block of blazing crystal, which provides the most heat. Then you upgrade it. So we need to get water into this bad boy. Do we have terracotta enough for a sink? No. My best source of water is my sink that I have over there. Well, we'll rob Peter to pay Paul because I don't have enough. I used the clay that I had to make this sink, and we have enough soul sand for now. So I'll take this sink, and then we'll work on making another one. You know, another episode. It's not that big a deal. So let's go ahead and get the sink now. Can you auto import? No, you're just an extract. So I do have to set a pipe up to this to get water into it. So we can go ahead and do something like this, and then scroll wheel this, and then get our pipe wrench. Oh, by the way, I made the entangled block here. If you've never utilized an entangled block before, they're pretty handy. But it basically allows you to connect to a block without actually having to connect to it. So for example, if I wanted to bind this to here, you're going to notice the thermo generator is in here. Currently, it is producing power, but if I take this away, now we don't have water inside of here. The water is going down, you see? But if I come over here and I take my sink and I connect it here with this here, and then that there, it acts as a phantom block. So now the water is coming into this and doing the thing. I set this up to see if I could not somehow trick the dimensional storage actuator to allow me to place that block on the bottom. Doesn't work or anything. But yeah, look, now we have, I mean, we could even put the lava underneath this, and then this thermo generator is just going to do everything that it would need to. So currently it is generating 80 RF per tick, and it can extract 320 RF per tick. And it's got a base storage of 80,000. Okay. I like it. Okay, so our next major goal is to get ourselves into our energizing orb. We need the energizing orb, and we need some energizing rods. And I think the quest wanted me to make 3 of these in order to get going. So energizing orb is going to be this, and then energizing rod is going to be those, but I need 3 dielectric casings. I have enough. Yes, good. And 1, 2, these do not stack because they have NBT data, because they have power. 3, right? And it gives me, oh, I need to make energy cables too. I have other energy cables, but Powah's energy cables are nice because you can walk through them, but I prefer other energy cables. There we go. Okay. So now the quest will give me another energizing rod or some similar reward. It gave me a hardened energizing rod. Okay, cool. So with that, now we can go ahead and set up our energizing orb to start doing some crafting for us. Now the energizing orb can be a little bit tricky to set up and everything because of the way that it handles crafts and everything. But there are ways to automate it fairly easily. Let's go ahead and get our energizing rods set up. On the next episode, we'll work on automating this. Okay, so we have to set them up on our cable. Forgot about that. So we put those here, and then we can take our rods and set them up on the cable. And we'll notice that if we start trying to craft anything, nothing's going to happen because these have no power, or these aren't doing the thing yet. However, you're generating, good. These things are filling up their buffer. You can kind of see if I were to pick them up. Oh, you can see down there at the bottom. I pointed at my screen. You can't see that. Above my hotbar, it says 10,000 FE. That's how much it has stored. And our first goal is to make ourselves hardened steel. How do we make hardened steel? Well, it is gold and iron. The problem that you run into with this, and you'll see right away what's going to happen, if I try and stick a stack of these, or even more than one of these in at a time, the recipe for this inside of the energizing orb is 1 in 1 with 10,000 RF gives me 2 energized steel. So if I take one and I take one and I put it in there, it works. Does its thing. Bam. We get the output. However, what if I try and put 2 of each? You know what? I want to bulk craft. I want a hopper set up to do this. So I put 2 of these in there and then 2 of those, and all of a sudden it no longer works. In order to get this to work, you have to only have 1 of each item in at a time. And there's some ways to handle this. It's not a super duper complicated thing for us to handle, but it is something that we're going to work on next episode because we are out of time for this episode. So next episode, we will come back. We're going to automate the energizing orb, which is going to allow us to tier up in Powah. Once we can tier up into power up to the blazing tier, that's really going to be where we're going to kick off the most. So a couple things that I'd like to get before we get to that point is, first off, let's collect all of our quests. We have a bunch of quests that we haven't collected. Let's go ahead and just collect all quests and see what we end up getting from everything. So we got more dielectric casings, basic capacitors, energy cables, soul sand, prosperity shards, diamond, spider eyes, rotten flesh, and energy cables. So, but once we get that done, I do want to go ahead and get myself some sort of battery. Now, a ender cell is probably what I would want to go with to start with, because the ender cell from Powah is able to store power for us, though we do need to make an energy cell too. But the ender cell is what allows us to get wireless power. So we kind of want to utilize a combination of the two. We can put our energy cell into the ender cell and make it a wireless battery. So I think we'll go that route. But ender cell is this, requires an ender core, which is not terribly too difficult to make. We can make that happen. And then the energy cell will also be fairly easy. What about a tier 1? How about tier 2? We can even get up to tier 2, though that is going to require a couple. So in between episodes, I'll craft these things up. I'm going to do some more sieving to get us some more ingots and all of that stuff, some iron and gold, get us some more emeralds and things so we can do our trades. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today's episode. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate it. It really does help out the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good one.